The Allied Universal office smelled like burnt coffee and old carpet. I sat in a plastic chair that was probably older than me and filled out the last page of onboarding forms while the recruiter clicked through screens on his computer. Glensheen Mansion, he said without looking up. You know it? The museum up by London Road. Big mansion. That's it. He kept typing. Overnight security. Contract runs 4 weeks, maybe longer if they need coverage. Pays 18 an hour. I didn't have to do the math. I'd already done it 3 times on the bus ride over. 18 an hour, 40 hours a week. That was 700 and change after taxes. Enough to stop the bleeding. My checking account had gone negative 2 days after the factory sent out layoff notices, and the late fees were piling up faster than I could count them. I'll take it, I said. He finally looked at me. You sure? It's graveyard shift, 11 to 7. No weekends off for the first 2 weeks. I'm sure. He shrugged and turned a form around for me to sign. Short-term contract. 4 weeks minimum, renewable at employer discretion. Standard liability waiver. I skimmed it and signed at the bottom. They've got a cot in the carriage house if you want it, he said. On-site lodging. Cuts down your commute. I thought about the bus schedule. Thought about my apartment with its overdue rent notice taped to the door. A cot sounded fine. Yeah, I said, I'll take that too. He printed something and handed it across the desk. My schedule for the next 2 weeks. A key code for the staff entrance, and a contact number for my supervisor. Lisa Schultz. She'd meet me tonight at 10:30 for walkthrough. Uniforms required, he said. You've still got yours? I nodded. I'd kept the Allied Universal uniform from my last gig at the warehouse. Navy blue shirt, black pants, duty belt with a flashlight and radio holder. It was all folded in a garbage bag in my closet. Good. Show up on time. Follow their protocols. Don't make me look bad. Got it. That was it. I walked out with the paperwork and caught the number 7 bus back to my place. I showed up at 10:20 with my duffel bag and the uniform on. The mansion sat back from the road behind a low stone wall, all dark brick and tall windows. Lights were still on inside. I could see people moving around on the ground floor. The staff entrance was around the side, down a narrow path that curved past some hedges. I punched in the code and the door clicked open. Inside was a small hallway with coat hooks and a bulletin board covered in staff memos. I didn't read them. A woman in a blazer came around the corner before I'd even set my bag down. Randy Carr? That's me. She stuck out her hand. Lisa Schultz. I'm the site supervisor. We shook. Her grip was firm and quick. You're early, she said. Good. We've got a lot to cover. She was probably mid-40s, hair pulled back tight, gray eyes that didn't blink much. She had the kind of voice that made you want to stand up straighter. Museum closes at 9, she said. Last tour group leaves by 9:15. Docents finish their close down by 9:30. After that, it's just you. No one else is supposed to be in the building. Understood. I'll walk you through the after-hours procedures. Follow me. I grabbed my duffel and followed her down the hallway. It was narrow and plain, nothing like the fancy rooms I'd seen through the windows, just white walls and linoleum floors. Staff-only territory. She took me past a small kitchen, a storage closet, and a door marked private before stopping at another door with a keypad lock. Security office, she said, and punched in a code. 6 digits. She said them out loud while she typed. 427183. Don't write it down. Memorize it. I repeated it back to her. She nodded and pushed the door open. The office was smaller than I expected. One desk with a computer and a logbook, a wall of camera feeds on old monitors, a key cabinet bolted to the wall, and a couple of filing cabinets shoved in the corner. There was a coffee maker on top of one of the cabinets. It looked newer than the rest of the equipment. This is your station, Lisa said. You'll spend most of your shift here. The monitors cover the main entrances, the exhibit halls, and the exterior grounds. I counted 12 screens. Most of them showed empty rooms. One showed the front gate. Another showed a hallway I didn't recognize. Cameras are motion activated for recording, she said. Live feed runs all the time, but the system only saves footage when it detects movement. Don't worry about that. Your job is to watch and log. She pointed at the logbook. It was one of those old-fashioned ones with the marble cover and the sewn binding. Someone had written, "Security log," on the front in Sharpie. Every hour you do a round, she said. Walk the route I'm going to show you, check the doors and windows, make sure everything's locked and quiet. When you finish, you come back here and log the time and your initials. No skipping rounds, no shortcuts. Got it. She opened the key cabinet. Inside were maybe 20 keys on labeled hooks. Most of them had tags with room numbers or descriptions. Boiler room, east wing storage, attic access. You won't need most of these, Lisa said. But you need to know where they are. If something trips an alarm, you'll need the right key to check it. She pulled one key off its hook. This is the restroom key. There's a staff bathroom down the hall. That's the only one you're allowed to use after closing. Don't use the public restrooms. Don't go into the family bathrooms upstairs, understand? Yeah. She hung the key back up and closed the cabinet. Radio traffic is limited to emergencies only. If you need to call me, use the landline on the desk. My number's in the contact list. Don't call unless it's urgent. I nodded. She was the kind of person who didn't repeat herself, so I made sure I was paying attention. Round schedule is posted here. She tapped a laminated sheet taped to the wall next to the monitors. It had a list of times and checkpoints. Midnight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same route, every time. You start at midnight, she said. Takes about 20 minutes if you're thorough. Don't rush it, but don't drag it out either. You're checking for unlocked doors, open windows, anything out of place. If you see something wrong, you radio it in. Don't try to fix it yourself. Understood. She reached into her blazer pocket and pulled out a laminated card about the size of an index card. She handed it to me. I looked at it. There were 8 lines of text, each one numbered. Glensheen Mansion. Overnight security protocols. 1. Stay on the designated route during rounds. 2. Do not enter the 3rd floor hallway. 3. If you hear footsteps above you, ignore them. 4. Keep the basement door locked at all times. 5. Do not respond to knocking from inside the building. 6. If a door you locked is found open, lock it again and log it. Do not investigate. 7. Remain in the security office between rounds. 8. If you see a figure in white on the cameras, do not go to that location. I read it twice. Didn't say anything. Lisa was watching me. Those are mandatory workplace safety protocols, she said. Not suggestions, not superstitions. You follow them exactly. Okay. I'm serious, Randy. People who don't follow the rules don't last here. And I don't mean they quit. I mean they get hurt. I looked up from the card. Her face hadn't changed. She wasn't joking. What kind of hurt? The kind that sends them to the hospital, or makes them walk off the job in the middle of the night and never come back. She crossed her arms. This building has a history. The rules are there for a reason. You follow them, you'll be fine. You ignore them, you're on your own. I look back at the card. Rule 3, Rule 5, Rule 8. Got it, I said. She nodded. Good. Keep that card on you. If you're ever not sure what to do, read it again. I slipped it into my shirt pocket. Lisa checked her watch. It's 10:40. I'm going to walk you through the route once, then I'm leaving. After that, you're solo until your relief shows up at 7. Any questions? Where's the cot? Carriage house. I'll show you after the walkthrough. You don't sleep on shift. I know. Then let's go. She took me through the whole building. We started at the main entrance, checked the front doors, moved through the parlor and the dining room and the library. Everything was roped off with velvet cords. The furniture looked expensive and old. There were plaques everywhere with dates and descriptions. Lisa didn't give me the tour guide speech. She just pointed out the locks and the windows and the alarm sensors. Check this. Check that. Move on. We went upstairs. The second floor had bedrooms and a sitting room. More ropes, more old furniture. The hallway creaked under my boots. Third floor is off limits, Lisa said when we reached the end of the second floor hallway. You saw it on the card. Don't go up there. The stairs are behind that door. She pointed at a narrow door I hadn't noticed. It didn't have a rope across it. Just a plain wooden door with a brass handle. It stays closed, she said. You don't open it. You don't check it. It's not part of your rounds. Okay. We headed back downstairs. She showed me the side exits, the windows in the sunroom, the door to the basement. That one had a deadbolt and a padlock. Basement stays locked, Lisa said. Don't go down there. If the padlock is missing or open, you call me immediately. Don't lock it yourself. Don't look inside. Just call. Got it. The route took us back to the security office. She timed it. 19 minutes. That's the full round, she said. You'll get faster once you know it, but don't rush. Thorough beats fast. Makes sense. She walked me outside and across the grounds to a smaller building tucked behind the main house. The carriage house. It was 2 stories, dark wood with big doors that probably used to open for actual carriages. Inside was a garage bay that had been converted into storage. Folding chairs, extra signage, boxes of brochures. Lisa led me up a narrow staircase to the second floor. The room at the top was small, maybe 10 feet by 12. There was a cot against one wall, a folding table, a lamp, and a space heater. One window looked out at the mansion. This is yours for the duration of the contract, Lisa said. No guests, no smoking. You can store your stuff here, but keep it neat. Bathrooms are back in the main building. I dropped my duffel on the cot. This works. She checked her watch again. It's 11. Your shift starts now. Get to the office, log yourself in, and start your first round at midnight. I'll be off-site, but I'm on call if you need me. Don't need me unless it's serious. Understood. She handed me a radio from her belt. Channel 3. Emergencies only. I clipped it to my belt next to the flashlight. One more thing, Lisa said. She stopped in the doorway and looked back at me. The rules sound weird, I know, but they're not a joke. This place has patterns. Things happen here that don't happen other places. You follow the protocols, you'll be fine. You'll have a boring night and a paycheck at the end of it. That's the deal. I'm good with boring. Good. She started down the stairs, then paused. And Randy, if something feels wrong, trust that feeling. Don't talk yourself out of it. Then she was gone. I stood there for a second in the little room, pulled the laminated card out of my pocket, and read it again. If you hear footsteps above you, ignore them. Do not respond to knocking from inside the building. If you see a figure in white on the cameras, do not go to that location. I figured it was some kind of liability thing. Maybe they'd had problems with squatters or trespassers. Maybe the building settled in weird ways and they didn't want guards freaking out over nothing. That's what I told myself anyway. I put the card back in my pocket, grabbed my flashlight, and headed across the grounds to the main building. The night was cold and clear. No moon. The mansion looked bigger in the dark. The security office was exactly how Lisa had left it. I sat down at the desk and opened the logbook. The last entry was from the previous night. Different handwriting, just a name, a time, and the word clear written 6 times down the page. I wrote my name at the top of a new page, Randy Carr, logged the time, 11:07. The monitors glowed in front of me, 12 empty rooms, 12 grainy black and white feeds, nothing moving, Not a soul around. I had 45 minutes until my first round. I settled into the chair and watched the screens. Told myself it was going to be a long, boring night, just like I wanted. I figured the best way to get through the first night was to not think about it too much. Just follow the route, check the boxes, write it down. Lisa had walked me through it once, and I'd watched her handle the logbook entries with the same careful precision she did everything else. That was good enough for me. The first round started at 10:40 p.m. exactly. I left the security office and went down the staff hallway, boots quiet on the tile. The main entrance was first. I tested both front doors, locked solid, brass handles cold under my hand. The alarm sensor blinked green. I moved through the parlor next, checking the windows along the far wall. They were the old kind with wooden frames and multiple panes, probably original to the house, all latched. The velvet ropes looked ridiculous in the dark, like someone was protecting furniture from ghosts. Dining room was the same. Windows latched, side door secure. I tried the handle twice just to be sure. The library had 3 tall windows facing the gardens, and I checked each one. Then the French doors leading to the sunroom. Locked. The route took me upstairs after that, floorboards creaking under my weight no matter how carefully I stepped. I didn't love that. Made me feel louder than I wanted to be. Second floor had bedrooms on both sides of the hallway. I checked windows in each room, tested the locks on a couple interior doors that were supposed to stay closed. Everything matched what Lisa had shown me. At the end of the hall, I saw the narrow wooden door leading to the 3rd floor. Still shut. I didn't touch it. Rule 2 was pretty clear about that. Back downstairs, I checked the basement door. Deadbolt engaged, padlock hanging through the latch exactly where it was supposed to be. I gave it a tug. Secure. Then I finished the route through the back hallway, checked the staff entrance I'd come in through, and returned to the security office at 10:58. The logbook sat open on the desk where Lisa had left it. Marble pattern cover, pages filled with entries going back weeks. Same format every time. Date, time, initials, status. I found a pen in the desk drawer and wrote the time, 10:58 p.m. Then clear in capital letters, then my initials. RC looked official enough. I sat down in the desk chair and it squeaked. The monitors glowed in front of me, 12 black and white feeds cycling through their views. Main entrance, East Hall, parlor, gardens, basement door. Most of them showed nothing, just empty rooms and dark hallways. A couple of the exterior cameras picked up streetlight glow from London Road, but that was it. I checked my phone. 11:03. Next round wasn't until midnight. That gave me almost an hour to just sit here and watch screens. The coffee maker on top of the filing cabinet looked newer than everything else in the room, which made me think Lisa probably bought it herself. I didn't see any coffee supplies, though. Note to self, bring instant packets tomorrow. The contact list was taped next to the laminated round schedule. Lisa's cell number at the top, then the main Allied Universal Dispatch line, then Duluth PD non-emergency, then 911 at the bottom like maybe someone wouldn't know it. I pulled the laminated card from my shirt pocket and read through the rules again. 8 of them. Pretty straightforward except for the ones that weren't. Stay on route. Fine. Don't enter 3rd floor. Also fine. Ignore footsteps above me. That one felt harder to promise. Don't respond to knocking from inside the building. Okay? If you see figure in white on cameras, do not go to that location. I looked back at the monitors. Still nothing. Just empty rooms. The mansion stayed quiet. I watched the feeds and listened to the building settle. Old places made noise, I knew that. Floors expanded and contracted. Pipes ticked. Wind pushed against windows. None of that bothered me. I'd worked overnights before at the packaging warehouse, and that place made worse sounds. Metal banging, machinery humming on timers, rats in the walls. This was fine. By 11:30, I'd relaxed enough to check my phone for real. No messages. I didn't expect any. I opened a browser and started reading about nothing in particular. News articles, sports scores, anything to pass the time. Midnight came and I did the second round. Same route, same checks. Everything still locked. I wrote it in the log at 12:19 a.m. and sat back down. That was when things got weird. Not loud weird. Not obvious. Just this little thing on the monitors that didn't make sense. I'd been watching the feeds cycle through their regular views. East hallway, west hallway, main staircase, basement door. Then the attic stairwell camera came up. It showed the same narrow wooden door I'd seen at the end of the second floor hallway, still closed. Nothing unusual about that, except there was a thin bar of light underneath it. I leaned forward. The light was faint, just a sliver of brightness against the dark gap beneath the door. It moved, slid from left to right, slow and steady, like someone was walking on the other side with a flashlight. I stared at the monitor. The door stayed shut, but the light kept moving. It reached the right edge of the door frame and disappeared, then came back from the left a few seconds later. Same slow sweep. A motion alert chirped, high-pitched little beep from the computer. The sound cut off almost immediately. I looked at the motion log on the screen. Third floor hallway, 12:27 a.m. No image captured. The light under the door slid right again. Vanished. Came back. The motion alert chirped a second time. Same location, 12:28 a.m. Still no person visible on the feed, just that moving bar of light. I sat there trying to figure out what I was seeing. Maybe a timer. Maybe some kind of automated exhibit thing they forgot to turn off. Maybe a reflection from outside catching the gap under the door at a weird angle. Except the light was moving in a pattern. Left to right. Pause. Right to left. I grabbed the key ring from the desk without really thinking about it. My body was already moving, already deciding. I pushed the chair back and stepped into the hallway. The staff corridor was dim, lit by a single overhead fixture near the kitchen. I turned toward the main building and walked 3 steps. Then I stopped. Rule 2. Do not enter third floor hallway. I stood there in the corridor with the keys in my hand and my brain finally catching up to what I'd been about to do. The attic stairwell wasn't technically the third floor hallway, but the rule said, don't enter. And I was pretty sure walking up there to check on a light I saw on a camera counted as entering. Rule 3. If you hear footsteps above you, ignore them. Rule 8. If you see figure in white on cameras, do not go to that location. The rules didn't say anything about light under a door, but they also didn't need to. The message was pretty clear. Don't go up there. Don't investigate. Don't be the guy who thinks he knows better. I backed up, turned around, walked back to the security office and sat down. The monitor still showed the attic stairwell camera. The door was closed. No light underneath it now, just a dark gap and a wooden threshold. I watched the feed for another 30 seconds. Nothing moved. No alerts. I pulled my phone from my belt and found Lisa's number in my contacts. She'd told me to call for emergencies, and I wasn't sure if this counted, but I also wasn't sure what else to do. The motion sensor had gone off twice. There was light where no light should be, and I'd almost walked straight toward it before remembering the rules that were supposed to keep me from getting hospitalized or walking off the job. I hit call. The line rang 4 times before she picked up. Schultz. Her voice sounded awake, clear, like maybe she'd been expecting this. Hey, it's Randy. Randy Carr. I'm on shift and I've got, I don't know, sensor activity, 3rd floor. Silence on the other end. Not long, just a pause. What kind of activity? I looked at the monitor again. Still dark under the door. Motion alert went off twice, 12:27 and 12:28. No person on the feed, but I saw light under the attic door. Moving light, like someone walking with a flashlight. Are you in the security office right now? Yeah. Did you go upstairs? No, I almost did. I got into the hallway and then I remembered the rules and came back. Another pause. I heard her breathe out, not quite a sigh, but close. Good, she said. That's exactly right. You did the right thing. I waited for her to say more. She didn't. So what do I do? I asked. You stay in the office. You log the alerts in the incident section of the book. Date, time, location, what you observed. You do not go to the third floor. You do not open that door. You finish your shift, and you follow the rules. I found the incident section in the back of the logbook, blank lines with columns for all the things she'd just listed. Is this normal? I asked. It happens, Lisa said. The sensors are sensitive. Old building, lots of movement, temperature shifts. You'll see things on the cameras that don't make sense. That's why the rules exist. That didn't really answer my question, but I got the feeling she wasn't going to give me a better explanation. Okay, I said. You're doing fine, Randy. Just stick to procedure. Call me if something else happens. Otherwise, I'll see you at shift change. Yeah. Okay. She hung up. I set the phone down and picked up the pen. Wrote the date and time in the incident log. Wrote third floor motion alerts. No visual contact, light observed under attic door, did not investigate per protocols. Signed my initials. Then I sat back and watched the monitors cycle through their feeds. The attic stairwell camera came up again. Door closed. No light, nothing moving. The feeds didn't feel as dependable anymore. That was the thing. I'd been trusting them to show me what was actually happening in the building, but now I wasn't so sure. I kept my eyes on the screens anyway. It was all I had. Lisa picked up on the second ring. Her voice came through clear and awake, no grogginess at all. Randy, what is it? Not a question, a statement. I figured she'd been waiting for this call. Motion alerts on the third floor, I said. 2 of them, 1227 and 1228. Nothing on the feed itself, but there was light under the attic door. Moving. Left to right, then back again, like someone walking with a flashlight. Silence on her end, just for a second. Are you in the security office right now? She said. Yeah. Did you go upstairs? I shifted in the chair, got as far as the staff hallway. Then I remembered the rules and came back. Good. She said it fast. That's exactly right. You did the right thing. I waited. The monitors cycled through their feeds. Attic stairwell showed nothing now. Just the closed door and the dark gap underneath. Don't go near that door, Lisa said. Her tone hadn't changed, still that same professional clip. But there was weight behind it now. Don't go to the third floor, don't open it, don't try to check it. Okay. And Randy, if you need to call me again tonight, use the landline, not the radio. I glanced at the radio clipped to my belt, black Motorola, standard issue. I'd barely thought about it since she'd given it to me during the walkthrough. Why not the radio? I said. Because radio traffic is recorded and monitored, she said. Smooth, procedural. If you describe anomalies over an open channel, it creates documentation issues, liability concerns. We handle incidents through written logs and direct supervisor contact only. It's safer that way. Safer for who? I didn't ask. Got it, I said instead. Log what you saw in the incident section. Date, time, location, observations. Don't embellish, just facts. Then stick to your procedures, rounds on schedule, stay in the office between them, follow the rules card. That's it? That's it. She paused. I heard something in the background on her end, maybe a TV or a fan. You're doing fine, Randy. This is why we have protocols. Old building, sensitive equipment, lots of movement. The rules exist so you don't have to make judgment calls in the moment. You just follow them and you'll be fine. Okay. Call if something else happens. I'll see you at shift change. The line went dead. I set the phone down on the desk and stared at the monitors. The attic stairwell camera showed the door, still closed, still dark underneath. No light, no movement. I pulled the logbook over, flipped to the incident section in the back. blank lines with columns for date, time, description, and initials. I grabbed the pen chained to the desk and wrote it out. 12:27 a.m. Third floor motion alerts. Light observed under attic door, no visual contact. Did not investigate per protocols. I signed my initials at the end. Then I sat back and watched the feeds. 12:31 a.m. now. Nothing happening. Just empty rooms and dark hallways. Exterior cameras showing the glow from London Road streetlights through the trees. I kept my eyes on the attic stairwell feed. The door sat there, closed, normal. Then it wasn't, just for a fraction of a second. Less than that. A blink. The door was open. Not all the way. Maybe a foot, maybe two. And beyond it, not a hallway, not stairs. Not anything that made sense for a third-floor attic in a mansion on London Road. Just black. Deep, flat black. No dimension to it. No light bleeding in from anywhere. It didn't look like a dark room. It looked like the door opened onto nothing. A space that shouldn't exist. Too big. Wrong shape. The kind of black you get in a basement with no windows, except this was the third floor and the perspective was all off. The angles didn't match the rest of the building. Then it snapped back. Closed door. Dark gap underneath. Wooden threshold. Normal. I sat there. Didn't move. Didn't blink. Just watched. The feed stayed normal. 30 seconds. A minute. My hands were cold. I checked the motion log on the computer. No new alerts. Nothing flagged. The last entries were still the two from 12:27 and 12:28. I looked at the monitor again. Still normal. I didn't trust it anymore. That was the thing. The cameras were supposed to show me what was happening, give me eyes on the whole building, let me know if something was wrong. But now I'd seen the light under the door that didn't show a person, and I'd seen the door open onto a space that couldn't be there, and I didn't know what the feeds were actually showing me. 12:33 a.m. I stood up, grabbed the keyring off the desk. I wasn't going to the third floor. I knew that much. Lisa had been clear. The rules card was clear, and I wasn't stupid enough to test it after what I'd just seen. But I couldn't just sit in the office staring at screens I didn't trust. I needed to move, burn time, keep my hands busy. So I started my rounds early. The hallway outside the security office was bright. Single overhead fixture near the kitchen, fluorescent buzz I could hear when I stopped moving. I passed the staff bathroom, the storage closet, the door marked private that Lisa hadn't explained. Main building was darker. Just the emergency exit lights and the glow from the street lights outside coming through the tall windows. I checked the front entrance. Brass handles cold under my palm. Locked. Green sensor light steady. Moved through the parlor. Heavy furniture, velvet ropes, everything in its place. Windows latched. I tested each one, same as before, running my fingers over the old wooden frames to make sure. Dining room next. Long table, chairs with carved backs, paintings on the walls I didn't look at. Side door secure, windows latched. I tugged each lock twice. Library. Tall windows facing the gardens. French doors to the sunroom. All locked. I kept moving. Upstairs, the floorboards creaked under my boots. I checked the bedrooms on both sides of the hallway, tested the locks on the interior doors, didn't look toward the end of the hall where the third floor door was. Didn't need to look. I knew it was there. I finished the route. Basement door still locked, deadbolt and padlock both in place. Back hallway clear. Staff entrance secure. 12:40 a.m. when I got back to the office. I logged it. 12:40 a.m. clear RC. Then I sat down and the bell rang. One clean note. Loud. Bright. The kind of sound that cuts through walls and doors in the low hum of building silence. It came from the breakfast room. I knew that before I even looked at the monitors. I'd heard that bell during the walkthrough. Lisa had pointed it out. Old servant call system, brass bell on a coiled spring mounted on the wall near the doorway. Used to summon staff back when the family still lived here. Docents demonstrated it sometimes during tours. I found the feed. Breakfast room camera. Angle from the corner showing the whole space. Small table, 2 chairs, china cabinet against the far wall. No one there. The bell sat on its mount. Wasn't swinging, wasn't moving, but I'd heard it, clear as anything. I checked the other monitors. Parlor empty, dining room empty, hallways empty, no motion alerts, no one on any of the feeds. 12:41 a.m. now. I pulled the rules card out of my shirt pocket, read through it again. Rule 5. Do not respond to knocking from inside building. Nothing about bells. But I figured the principle was the same. I flipped the logbook open to the current page, wrote it down. 12:41 a.m. Breakfast room bell rang once, no visual contact, no investigation per protocols. I signed my initials. That was it. That's all I did. Didn't go check the breakfast room. Didn't walk through the building looking for an explanation. Just wrote it down and kept going. And the weird thing was, it helped. Following the rules. Doing what I was told. Not having to make a decision about whether to investigate or what it meant or if I'd really heard it. I just logged it and moved on. My hands stopped shaking. The cold feeling in my chest eased up a little. I watched the monitors. Checked the time. 12:46 a.m. 14 minutes until my next scheduled round. I could do that. Just sit here and watch the feeds and wait for 1 a.m. The breakfast room stayed empty. No movement. The bell didn't ring again. I kept my eyes moving between the screens. Attic stairwell. Main entrance. East hall. Parlor. Gardens. Basement door. Everything normal. 12:53 a.m. 12:58 a.m. 1 a.m. I stood up, grabbed the keys, started my rounds. Same route, same checks, everything locked, everything in place. I logged it at 1:19 a.m. Then I sat back down and saw the person on the monitor. Second floor, east hallway camera, standing near the sitting room doorway, wearing a museum blazer. Dark fabric, probably navy or black, hard to tell on the grainy feed. And a name tag. White rectangle pinned to the chest. I couldn't read the name from this angle, but I could see the tag itself, the shape of it. Docent uniform, staff uniform. The person wasn't moving, just standing there. Facing away from the camera, looking toward the sitting room entrance. I stared at the screen. 1:20 a.m. now. Building closed since 9 p.m. Lisa said everyone was supposed to be gone by 9:30. No one else on site. That's what she'd told me. After close down, I was alone. But there was someone on the second floor wearing a staff blazer. I checked the other monitors. Main entrance, empty. Parlor, empty. No one else visible anywhere. Just this one person. Second floor, standing still. I reached for the radio on my belt, then stopped. Lisa's voice in my head. Don't describe anything strange over the radio. I grabbed the landline instead, dialed her number from the contact list. It rang 4 times, 5. She didn't pick up. I hung up, looked back at the monitor. The person was still there, hadn't moved. I tried Lisa's number again, straight to voicemail this time. I set the phone down. 1:21 a.m. I had the rules card, I had my procedures, I had a route and a schedule and a logbook. But none of that told me what to do about a person in a museum blazer standing on the second floor at 1:20 in the morning when no one was supposed to be here. Normal security, actual security work at a warehouse or an office building. I'd go check it out, confront them, ask for ID, escort them out if they didn't belong. But this wasn't a warehouse. This was a building with rules about not going to the 3rd floor, and not responding to knocking and not investigating doors that opened on their own. This was a place where Lisa had warned me that people who didn't follow the rules got hurt. I looked at the monitor. The person still hadn't moved. I had to decide what normal security even meant here. I grabbed my flashlight off the duty belt and went upstairs. Not all the way. I stopped at the top of the main stairs, right where the second-floor landing opened up. The camera covered this spot. I'd seen the angle on the monitor dozens of times already tonight. I wanted to stay where something could see me, where there'd be a record. The figure was still in the east hallway, maybe 20 feet away, still facing the sitting room doorway, still not moving. I clicked the flashlight on. The beam cut across the landing and hit the blazer. Dark fabric, could have been navy or black in this light. The name tag was a white rectangle on the chest. Standard museum issue, probably. The kind with the plastic sleeve and paper insert. "Security," I said. My voice came out flat. "I need to see your badge." I stayed where I was, 10 feet between us, maybe a little more, close enough to be heard, far enough that I wasn't boxing anyone in. The figure didn't turn, didn't move at all. "Staff badge," I said again, "or I'm calling this in." Nothing. No response, no shift in posture. The blazer didn't even move with breathing. I thought about the rules card in my pocket. Rule 5 said don't respond to knocking from inside the building. Rule 8 said don't go to a location if you see a figure in white on the cameras. This wasn't white. This was a blazer. This was someone standing in a hallway I'd just walked through an hour ago. But none of the rules said confront anyone. None of them said check badges or escorts or any of the normal security procedures I'd done at the warehouse or the shopping center before that. I pulled the radio off my belt with my left hand, kept the flashlight steady in my right. I keyed the mic, but didn't speak yet. Just wanted the click, wanted them to know I had it. Still nothing. I clipped the radio back and pulled out my phone instead. Opened the camera app, zoomed in. The name tag filled the screen. White rectangle, dark border, but the inside was blank. No name, no text, just white space where the paper insert should have been. I moved the zoom up. The face, it looked flat. That's the only way I can describe it. Flat and tight. Skin pulled too smooth over the bones. The features were there. Nose, mouth, eyes. But they didn't sit right. Didn't have the depth a real face should have. It reminded me of those cheap Halloween masks. The plastic ones that never fit quite right, where the eye holes don't line up and the mouth stretches wrong when you talk. I lowered the phone. The figure turned its head. Not toward me, toward the lake wing hallway. Then it started walking. Slow, steady. Boots or shoes making no sound on the floorboards that had creaked under my weight 20 minutes ago. I should have blocked the hallway. That's what normal procedure would be. Stand in the doorway, radio for backup, keep visual contact. Don't let them move to another part of the building. But the rules hadn't told me to confront anyone. And Lisa had said people who don't follow the rules get hurt. I stepped back, moved to the side of the landing near the banister, gave it space. It walked past the sitting room doorway, past the first bedroom, turned left into the lake wing without looking at me once. I counted to 5. Then I moved to the hallway entrance and looked. Empty. The lake wing hallway was empty. 4 closed doors, 2 on each side. The window at the far end showing black glass and a faint glow from the exterior lights. No figure, no blazer, no flat face. I backed up to the landing again. My phone was still in my hand. I pulled up the keypad, started to dial 911. That was the normal thing. The right thing. Someone had been in the building who shouldn't be here, and now I didn't know where they went. And that meant I needed police. Real police. Not Lisa's rules or campus security or anything else. I got as far as 911 before my radio crackled. Static first, then a voice. Randy. Clear. Calm. Lisa's voice. Police are already on the way. I need you to open the lake-facing French doors on the first floor. Quick entry. They're outside now. I didn't move, didn't key the mic. She hadn't called me Randy before, not once. It had been Carr during the walkthrough, or just you when she gave instructions. First names weren't on the duty roster I'd seen, weren't on my contract. Allied Universal used last names and employee numbers for everything. The radio crackled again. Randy, do you copy? Open the French doors. Lakeside. They need access now. I clipped the radio back on my belt without answering. Walked back to the main stairs. Went down fast, boots loud on the steps. Across the main hall to the security office. Door still open. Monitors still cycling. I dropped into the chair and found the French door camera. The one that covered the library exit to the sunroom. The doors that faced the lake. There was someone outside, standing maybe 3 feet from the glass, perfectly still. Dark clothes, no flashlight, no movement at all. I leaned closer to the monitor. The camera angle caught the reflection in the glass, faint, but visible. The interior of the library behind the doors, the bookshelf against the far wall, the edge of the velvet rope. And something else. A shape near the door handle. Inside, on my side of the glass. Thin, vertical. Could have been a person standing right up against the doors from the inside. But I'd just checked those doors an hour ago. I'd been alone in the building except for whatever that thing upstairs was. The figure outside didn't move. The reflection didn't move. My radio was silent now. No more crackling. No more voice that sounded like Lisa. I kept my eyes on the monitor and pulled my phone back out. I backed up from the monitor showing the French doors, bumped the desk with my hip, kept my eyes on that feed for another 3 seconds. The figure outside hadn't moved. The shape in the reflection hadn't moved. Then I pulled out my phone and called Lisa's cell. She picked up on the second ring. Carr? Her voice sounded tired. Background noise, maybe a TV. Did you send police? I kept my voice low. Probably stupid. Nobody else was here, but I did it anyway. What? Sharp now. No, I'm at home. Why would I send police? Someone used the radio. Said they were you. Said police were already outside and I needed to open the French doors on the lakeside for quick entry. I watched the monitor while I talked. The figure still hadn't moved. Lisa didn't answer right away. I heard something on her end, a click, then silence. TV off, probably. Are you in the office? She asked. Yeah. Did you open the doors? No. Good, don't. She took a breath. I heard it clearly through the phone. Did you call 911? Started to, got to 9-1 before the radio thing happened. Did you complete the call? I looked at my phone screen. Call history showed Lisa's number at the top, then her number again from 12:30-something, then nothing before that tonight. No, didn't finish dialing. Okay. Another breath. Okay. Listen to me. The mansion reacts badly when outsiders get involved. Police, fire, anyone who doesn't know the rules. If they come in, things escalate. Fast. It doesn't want them here. I thought about that. The figure outside the French doors. The thing in the blazer upstairs that walked through a hallway and disappeared. What happens if they show up? It gets worse for everyone inside. The building doesn't distinguish. You're just part of the problem at that point. Her voice stayed calm, but I could hear something under it. Not fear exactly. Maybe experience. If you requested help, you need to cancel it. Now. Without explanation. Don't tell dispatch why. Don't give details. Just cancel and confirm no units are en route. I didn't complete the call, I said again. You're sure? I checked my recent calls list one more time. Yeah. Got interrupted. Then don't try again. She paused. This is important, Carr. Standard escalation doesn't work here. Calling for backup, bringing in people who don't know what they're walking into. It doesn't help. It makes you bait. That word sat in my head. Wrong. Bait. The rules exist for a reason, Lisa said. They're not perfect. They don't cover everything, but they keep you off the menu. Bringing in people who don't follow them, who don't even know they exist, that puts everyone in the same category. Do you understand? Yeah, I said. Probably did. Didn't love it. Stay in the office, follow your rounds schedule. Don't open doors for anyone. Don't respond to the radio unless you recognize the actual voice, not just the name. She stopped. You good? Define good. She almost laughed. Almost. You're doing fine. Call me if something else happens. Landline, not radio. Got it. She hung up. I sat down in the chair. It squeaked. I kept the phone in my hand and looked at the monitors. The figure outside the French doors was gone. I leaned closer to the screen. Just dark glass now, reflections showing the empty library, bookshelf, velvet rope. Nobody outside. Nobody inside near the doors. I checked the timestamp on the feed. 1:43 a.m. I checked my phone. 1:44. I put the phone on the desk next to the keyboard and watched the feed cycle. Main entrance, East Hall, parlor, gardens, basement door, library, French doors, breakfast room, attic stairwell. 12 screens, black and white, mostly empty. The attic door was closed, no light underneath. The breakfast room showed the long table, chairs, the brass bell on the wall near the door to the kitchen. I sat there for maybe 2 minutes. Told myself Lisa was right, that I'd done the right thing, that calling for help would have made it worse. Told myself the rules worked if I followed them. Told myself the figure in the blazer had left and the thing outside the French doors had left, and nothing else was going to happen if I just stayed put and did my job. Almost believed it. Then the bell rang. Twice. Fast. Sharp metallic sound, louder than before, like someone yanked the cord hard instead of pulling it. I looked at the breakfast room monitor. Nobody there. Bell wasn't moving, just hanging on the wall, brass and coiled spring, completely still. I checked the motion log. No alerts. The lights dimmed. Not out, not flickering. Just a slow, smooth fade from full brightness down to maybe 60%. The overhead fixture in the security office, the lamp on the desk, even the glow from the monitors, all of it dropped at the exact same rate, like someone had turned a dial. I looked up at the ceiling fixture. Warm yellow light, dimmer than it had been 5 seconds ago, but steady. No flicker, no buzz, just less. I checked my watch, 1:46 a.m. The lights didn't come back up. I looked at the monitors again, and the attic motion alert went off. Not a chirp this time, a full alarm. Loud, continuous beep from the computer, red text flashing on the screen. Attic stairwell. Motion detected. 1:46:32. I looked at the feed. The attic door stood open. Not halfway. All the way. Hinges flat against the wall, doorway wide, and behind it, blackness. Not shadow. Not an unlit hallway. Flat, deep black that didn't have dimension, that moved. Slow ripple, top to bottom, like water flowing down a vertical surface. Wrong angles where the door frame met the darkness. Edges that didn't line up right. Space that was too big for a third-floor hallway in a mansion I'd walked through twice already. Something pale rose into view, slow, smooth, rising from below the camera's angle, from below the floor, like it was floating up through a shaft that shouldn't exist. White fabric, maybe, or skin. It kept rising, no shoulders yet, just the top of something coming up into the frame. I stood up. Chair rolled backward and hit the filing cabinet. The pale shape kept rising, edges blurred on the monitor, no clear definition, just white against black, moving up. I grabbed my flashlight off the desk, took one step toward the door, stopped. The attic rule. Rule 2. Don't enter the third-floor hallway. But the door was open now. I hadn't opened it. It had opened itself. Or something had opened it. And something was coming up through a space that didn't match the building's layout, rising into the hallway I wasn't supposed to enter. I thought about Rule 6. If a door I'd locked was found open, lock it again and log it. Don't investigate. But I hadn't locked the attic door. Wasn't my job to lock it, just my job to stay out. The pale shape kept rising on the monitor. I could see shoulders now. Maybe. Hard to tell with the blur. I looked at the screen and thought about the rules, not just what they said, what they meant. Rule 2 didn't say, don't open the attic door. It said, don't enter the third-floor hallway. Rule 3 said, ignore footsteps above me. Rule 8 said, if I saw a figure in white on cameras, don't go to that location. The rules weren't about the door. They were about me, about where I went, what I responded to, what I paid attention to. The attic door standing open wasn't the problem. Me going up there to close it would be. I looked at the monitor one more time. The pale shape had a head now. Smooth, featureless, still rising. I grabbed the logbook off the desk, tucked it under my arm, clipped the flashlight back on my belt, and walked out of the office. Didn't go upstairs, went the other direction. Into the staff hallway, past the kitchen, through the door into the main building. First floor loop, same route I'd done 4 times already tonight. I clicked on my flashlight and checked the front entrance. Brass handles, green sensor light, locked. Tested them anyway. Still locked. Moved into the parlor. Windows latched, velvet ropes in place, old furniture sitting in the dark. Kept walking. The logbook stayed under my arm. Flashlight beam swept left to right, checking corners, checking shadows. I didn't look up. Didn't think about what was on the 3rd floor. Didn't think about the attic door, or the pale shape, or the blackness that moved. Treated the mansion like a place that punished attention. Dining room. Side door locked. Windows secure. Tested the handles. Library. 3 tall windows, French doors to the sunroom. All locked. Checked them twice. My boots sounded loud on the floorboards. I kept moving. The bell rang. Once. Clear and sharp. Same metallic sound from the direction of the breakfast room. I opened the logbook while I walked, pulled a pen from my shirt pocket. Wrote the time, 2:02 a.m., in the incident section next to the column for observations. Wrote, breakfast room bell, single ring next to it. Initialed it. Didn't look toward the breakfast room. Didn't stop walking. Kept going. The landline rang at 1:51 a.m. I looked at it. Black plastic desk phone with a coiled cord, the kind that belongs in an office from 1995. 2 rings, 3 rings, 4. I didn't pick up. It stopped at 7. I watched the monitors. Nothing moved. The attic door stayed shut. The French doors showed empty glass and dark lawn beyond. The phone rang again at 1:55. Same pattern. 7 rings, then silence. I kept my hands on the desk. Didn't reach for it. Lisa said not to respond to knocking from inside the building, and this felt close enough. 3rd call came at 1:58. I let it go. 4th at 2:01. On the 5th ring, I leaned closer and heard something under the mechanical trill. Faint. A voice, maybe. Coming from the receiver, even though I hadn't picked up. I pulled my hand back. The phone stopped. 2:04. It rang again. This time I counted. 7 rings. Always 7. 2:07. Same thing. 2:10. I was ready for it now, sitting back in the chair with my arms crossed and eyes on the monitors. The ringing didn't bother me anymore. Just background noise. Predictable. 2:13. The pattern held. 2:16. The phone rang and I ignored it, but I looked at the French door camera because something felt different. The handle was moving, not fast. Slow and patient, turning down from horizontal to a 45-degree angle, then stopping, then easing back up, like someone testing the lock from the inside. I checked the library feed. Nobody there. Just the bookshelf, the velvet rope, the empty room. The handle kept turning. Down, up, down, up. I stood and walked to the office door, looking into the staff hallway. The overhead light was still dim. 60%, maybe less. But I could see fine. Then I heard it. Shuffling. Soft and layered, coming from the direction of the main hall. Not one person. A lot of them. Fabric dragging on marble, shoe soles sliding. The kind of sound you get when a crowd moves together in a tight space and nobody's talking. I took 3 steps into the hallway and stopped. The sound got louder. Still soft, but definitely closer. Like they were filling the front hall, just around the corner where I couldn't see. I looked back at the monitors. The attic feed went black, not the door opening, not darkness spilling out. Just the whole screen cutting to flat black with the timestamp still running in the corner. 2:16 a.m., 2:16 a.m., 2:16 a.m. The French door handle kept turning. The shuffling kept building. The phone rang again behind me. I pulled the rules card from my pocket and scanned it. Rule 7 said, remain in the security office between rounds. Rule 8 said, don't go to locations where figures appear on cameras. Rule 5 said, don't respond to knocking. None of them told me what to do when the building was trying this hard. I thought about Lisa's voice on the phone earlier. The rules aren't perfect. They don't cover everything, but they keep you off the menu. The shuffling sounded like 20 people now, maybe 30. I made a choice. I grabbed the logbook off the desk, took my flashlight from my belt, and walked toward the main hall. Probably the dumbest thing I'd done all night. Standard security protocol says you stay near your exit. You don't walk toward unknown contact. You call for backup. But standard protocol also says you open doors when someone requests entry, and you investigate suspicious activity, and you escort unauthorized persons off the premises. And I'd already learned that doing any of that here got you hurt or worse. The rules said stay in the office, but the rules also said do your rounds on schedule, and those took me through the whole building every hour. The rules said don't go to certain places under certain conditions. They didn't say hide. I kept moving. The main hall opened up in front of me. Marble floor, big chandelier overhead still dim, front doors straight ahead with glass panels on either side. The shuffling stopped the second I stepped into view. I stood there, listened. Nothing. I looked at the floor. No footprints, no wet marks, just clean white marble with dark veins running through it. I opened the logbook to a blank page in the incident section and clicked my pen. Wrote the time. 2:17 a.m. Then I wrote clear in block letters and underlined it. Something slammed into the front doors from outside. The impact rattled the frame. I saw the wood flex inward, just a little, before it settled. I didn't move, didn't step back. But I shifted my weight to my left foot, then my right. Kept my stance loose. Not still. I wrote clear again on the next line. Another slam. Harder this time. The glass panels shook. I checked the view through the glass. Front yard, hedge line, streetlights from London Road. Normal. I wrote clear a third time. The wet footprints appeared just there. No fade in, no gradual formation. 1 second the marble was dry, the next second there were prints, bare feet, adult-sized, leading from the doors straight toward me in a line. I stepped to the side. The prints kept coming, 5 feet away, 4. I kept writing, clear, 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 3 feet. I looked at the glass panels again. The view had changed, not the front yard anymore, water. Dark and flat, stretching out to a black horizon. The lake. I could see small waves catching faint light. Could see the surface shifting. The front doors faced London Road. The lake was behind the mansion. I blinked. The view stayed wrong. 2 feet. I moved again, 3 steps to the left, and kept my pen on the page. Clear. My handwriting got sloppier, but I didn't stop. The footprints stopped right where I'd been standing. No more appeared. The wet marks just sat there, pooled and dark against the white marble. Then the figure stepped up to the threshold outside. Museum blazer, white name tag, same proportions as the one upstairs, but this one stood differently. Stiffer. It raised its right hand and held something up to the glass, a rectangle. Plastic sleeve, paper insert, ID badge. I kept my distance, 10 feet, maybe 12. "Credentials aren't acceptable," I said. My voice sounded steady. That surprised me. The figure tilted its head. The name tag on its chest was blank. The ID in its hand had text, but I couldn't read it from here, and I wasn't getting closer. Its arm bent, wrong angle. Elbow joint folding backward. Forearm rotating in a direction that doesn't exist on a human body. The hand with the ID stayed level, but the arm curved like a snake, reaching toward me even though the figure didn't move its feet. I took a step back. The door seam bulged. Not the handle, not the lock. The seam where the two doors met in the middle, that vertical line with the brass plate. It pushed outward, wood swelling like the building wanted to open, like the frame was trying to help. I stopped writing and gripped the logbook. The figure's arm kept extending, shoulder dislocating now, the blazer pulling tight across its back. I looked at my watch, 2:29 a.m. "No entry," I said. Louder this time. "Building's closed." The arm stopped. The door seam stayed bulged. I stood there, kept my weight shifting foot to foot, kept my breath steady. 2:29 became 2:30. The pressure released. I felt it. Actual physical sensation, like a hand letting go of my chest. The air got easier. The dim lights didn't brighten, but they felt less wrong. I looked at the glass panels, front yard, hedge line, street lights. The view snapped back so fast I thought I imagined the lake. The wet footprints started drying, not evaporating, drying into fine dust, then flaking apart, then gone. 5 seconds, and the marble was clean. The figure outside was gone. I checked the seam. Flush again. Normal. Behind me, down the hallway toward the lakeside, I heard the French door handle click once. Then nothing. I walked back to the security office. The attic camera feed was back. Door shut. No light underneath. Timestamp running normal. I sat down. The phone didn't ring again. Lisa called at 2:36. I picked up on the first ring. "You good?" she said. "Yeah." "Anything happen after we talked?" I looked at the logbook page. Clear, written 14 times in increasingly bad handwriting. "Yeah," I said. "Tell me." I did. The phone ringing every few minutes, the French door handle turning, the shuffling sounds in the main hall, the attic feed going black, the footprints and the wrong view through the glass and the figure with the bent arm. Lisa didn't interrupt. When I finished, she was quiet for 5 seconds. "You went to the front doors," she said. "Yeah. Why?" Felt like the right move. "It was," she said. "You kept moving?" "Yeah. Didn't stay still." "And you logged it?" "Wrote clear a bunch of times, figured it counted as routine." She made a sound, not quite a laugh. "It does. That's exactly what it is." "What was that?" I asked. "The half hour from 2 to 2:30. "The lake," Lisa said. "Estate used to do business down by the water, back when it was a private residence, receiving shipments, entertaining guests who came by boat. Some of that trade wasn't normal. The building remembers." "Remembers what?" "Being helpful," she said. "Opening doors, letting people in, providing access. That's what it wants during that window. Someone to be the helpful person." I looked at the French door monitor. Just glass and dark lawn. "The rules keep you from being that person," Lisa said. "You stay routine, stay on record, stay a witness instead of a participant. The building can want all it likes. It can't use you if you don't engage. The footprints came right at me. But you moved. Yeah. And you kept writing. Yeah. Then you stayed off the menu, she said. You did good, Carr. I rubbed my eyes. They felt dry. This happened every night. The lake window? Yeah. 2 to 2:30 a.m. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it pushes hard. Depends. On what? Don't know, she said. Buildings got patterns, but they're not consistent. You just follow the rules and stay smart. Okay. You good for the rest of the shift? I checked the time. 2:41 a.m. 4 hours and 19 minutes to go. Yeah, I said. Call if you need me. She hung up. I did my 3 a.m. round. Everything locked, everything clear. Logged it at 3:22, 4 a.m. round, same. 5 a.m. round, same. 6 a.m. round, same. At 6:53, the relief guard came in through the staff entrance. Older guy, maybe 50, gray hair, and a different Allied universal patch on his shoulder. He nodded at me. Carr? Yeah. I'm Jensen. Day shift. Morning. He looked at the monitors, then at me. Quiet night? I thought about the answer. Got the logbook here. I handed it over. He flipped to the incident section and read for 30 seconds. His expression didn't change. Standard stuff, he said. Yeah. He closed the logbook and set it on the desk. You want off this site? He asked. I looked at him. That obvious? You lasted the night. Most people who want out don't make it that far. He pulled his own flashlight off his belt and checked the battery. You can put in for reassignment. Lisa handles that. She here? She will be. Usually shows up around 7:15 to do the handoff paperwork. I nodded. Jensen sat down in the chair and started clicking through the camera feeds. Fair warning, though. This place doesn't let go easy. What's that mean? Means you can ask for a different site. You can get approved, get your new schedule, show up somewhere else. He glanced at me. But you'll come back. Why? Because it pulls, he said. You spend a night here, follow the rules, survive the weird shit, it gets in your head. You'll be working some normal warehouse gig, walking rounds past forklifts and pallets, and you'll start thinking about this place, wondering if you just got lucky, wondering if it's still happening without you here. Then you'll tell yourself you can handle one more shift, just to prove you're not scared. He shrugged. Next thing you know, you're back on the roster. You came back. 3 times, Jensen said. Finally stopped trying to leave. I picked up my duffel from where I'd left it by the filing cabinet. I'll take my chances. Sure. Lisa showed up at 7:19. She looked the same as last night. Blazer, tight bun, gray eyes. She had a tablet in one hand and a travel mug in the other. Carr, she said. Good morning. Morning. She set the mug on the desk and opened the tablet. Jensen, you're good? Yeah. Carr, walk with me. I followed her into the hallway. She stopped near the kitchen and turned. You want a different site? She said. Not a question. Yeah. You made it through the night. That's more than most people manage on their first shift. She swiped something on the tablet. I can put the request in. You'll probably get assigned to a retail site or an office building. Straightforward stuff. Okay. But you should know it doesn't stick, she said. This building pulls people back. You'll think about it. You'll convince yourself you can handle another night. And you'll end up here again because the money's better than most sites, and you'll tell yourself it's just practical. Jensen said the same thing. Because it's true. She looked at me. I'm not trying to keep you here. I'm telling you how it works. You can leave. But if you come back knowing what it costs. I thought about my checking account. Negative $47, overdraft fees stacking up, rent due in 2 weeks. I'll take the reassignment, I said. Okay. She made a note on the tablet. I'll have it by tomorrow. You're off tonight. Come back tomorrow night and I'll have your new site info." "Thanks." She nodded and walked toward the security office. I went outside. The carriage house room was cold. I turned on the space heater and lay down on the cot without taking off my boots. Didn't sleep. Just stared at the ceiling. At some point I closed my eyes. At some point I opened them and it was afternoon. Gray light through the window. 3:20 p.m. on my phone. I sat up. My back hurt. My neck hurt. I went downstairs and walked to the gas station 4 blocks down London Road. Bought a sandwich and a Gatorade. Ate standing outside. The mansion was visible from here. Big dark shape behind the trees. I walked back. I told myself I'd pack my duffel and leave before the museum closed. Go back to my apartment. Wait for Lisa's call about the new site. I didn't. I sat in the carriage house room and watched the light fade. Watched the mansion's windows go dark one by one as the docents finished their closing tasks. At 9:40 p.m., I put my uniform back on. At 10:15, I walked across the grounds to the staff entrance and punched in the code. Lisa was in the security office. She looked up when I came in. "Thought you wanted out," she said. "I do. But you're here." "Overdraft fees are real," I said. "I quit, I lose the carriage house. I lose the carriage house, I'm paying for gas and bus fare I don't have. And Allied Universal doesn't pay out partial contracts." She nodded. "Practical." "Yeah." She stood and handed me the logbook. "Same rules, same rounds. You know what to expect now." "Yeah." "Don't treat it like a normal building," she said. "That's what gets people hurt. You try to do standard security procedures here. You try to investigate or confront or secure the site the way you were trained. It doesn't work. This job isn't about stopping intruders. It's about strict compliance. You follow the rules. You log what you see. You stay routine. That's it." I took the logbook. "You proved you can do that last night," Lisa said. "Just keep doing it." She left. I sat down at the desk and looked at the monitors. 12 black and white feeds, empty rooms, dark hallways. I opened the logbook to a fresh page and wrote the time. 10:32 p.m. Clear.